on an early Sunday morning. Saturday night, Sunday morning. How are you all doing out there? Me, I'm absolutely fabulous tonight. It's been a crazy day, but we have made it through it, okay? And it is my hopes that all of you Chicagoans are doing great today. I know that it's Saturday night. I know that you all are still up. You all smoking, you all drinking, you're watching rap videos, you're watching kung fu movies, you're watching action movies. You're dealing with your girl right now. You're dealing with your kids. And some of you all have kids and a woman that you'd rather not be dealing with. So you might as well tune in to THEMOSHOW Chicago, where the execution of knowledge is POWER. And you have to apply it now. Okay? And if this is your first time watching the show, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. But before we get started, we got a little Chicago news, okay? Here in Chicago, if you ride the CTA or if you take the RTA, if you're on the L, on a train, be expected to not travel or have access to public transportation for 24 hours. Not meaning today until tomorrow. No. What I mean is that Springfield has not gave the city the funding for CTA. So you know those late night trains, you know those late night buses, they may not be running anymore. What are you going to do then? I mean, it may help in a way, seeing that a lot of people are getting robbed and killed and beat up on the train, mostly in the wee hours in the night or wee hours of the morning. So maybe that will help curb the crime. It can help the situation, but however, it's going to hurt a lot of people, especially if you have a job and you get off at night, or if you get off, you know, whatever your schedule is. I'm sure it would interfere with that if you don't have a car. And even if you don't have a car and you're not working during that time, it still will have an impact for people who rely on public transportation to get around in the city of Chicago. It's going to get rough out here. It's really getting bad out here. Stupid bad. I mean, you can't even go to a smoke shop. You know, like the smoke shop right down here on 13th in Michigan? Yeah, right on the corner. Where you had the security guard who was not authorized to have a gun, had a gun. A customer comes in, speaks with the employee in the place, not the guard, but an employee who actually sells the merchandise in the store, in the dispensary, gets into an argument with the customer who came in that wanted to exchange some products, not buy products, but exchange some products, okay? And the customer left out the store. However, the security guard, who did not have a gun for the license, decided to take it upon his hands to deal with the customer who was walking out of the store. Shouts out to everybody out there. Who we got? Bloom, RBLX, Valerie. Shouts out to you. Antonio, what's going on? Shouts out to everybody out there, okay? And I want to thank you all for being here, because you could have been somewhere else with someone else doing something else. But you decided to stop by to see what we had to say, and we so much appreciate that. And we tip our hat to you, okay? But getting back to this story that I was telling in regards to the security guard not having license to carry a gun, decides to go outside of the dispensary and does what? He decided to commit chaos with the customer. He fights the customer, goes back in the store, in the dispensary, tells the employee that he's going to kill the man, goes back outside, chase the man down the block a little bit, and then cut off his electricity. Damn! It's wild here in Chicago. It's wild here in Chicago. Not to mention the fact that you got ICE here. Okay? We got ICE here. And ICE, according to the reports, according to WGN, according to ABC, which is owned by Disney, which we'll get into. That's right, Disney owns ABC. CBS, NBC, according to these news outlets, ICE has arrested over 500 people here in Chicago. Who's to say some of them are citizens, but we know that some of them are not. Here in the suburb that is called Broadview, which is between like Maywood and Bellwood, here in Chicago, which is the west suburb, just take 290 west, the Eisenhower, from downtown, and you run into Broadway suburbs, give it about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, okay? But if you're on the city's west side, that means you're only maybe 15 minutes away. Who else we got out there? Angie, NK, same. NK, one subscribe. Hey, we love you. We appreciate you out there. Antonio Cruz, this story is good. Yeah, so far, man, we got some information for you all. I'm just glad that you all are out there, okay? Hey, but needless to say, they say that over 500 people were arrested by ICE, and tear gas was emitted in the air. They were knocking people on the ground. ICE was. And you can see that all over social media. If you look at the ICE videos, raids and arrests in Chicago, you would see ICE slamming people down to the ground, using rubber bullets, using gas, using any and everything to arrest these people. However, many people are complaining about the mask that ICE is wearing. What are they wearing masks for? I thought COVID was over. I mean, they say that it's resurging, but you know, why have a mask? Why you don't want the people who you are arresting see what you look like? What are you afraid of, Mr. ICE? What is your director or who runs ICE afraid of? Why should they not be able to see your face? And it's sad because according to word on the street and news, ICE agents are getting commission for so many arrests. Even black people here in Chicago who are immigrants but are documented are worried. Yeah. But the center stage today took place in Broadview. But if you want to go north, you'll find a lot of Haitians. And I'm sure that they're going to hit Humboldt Park. I'm sure that they are going to hit Little Village. Anywhere where there is a high population of Hispanics, they coming. And they just may be coming up north where all of those Haitians are at. Despite the fact that they may have a visa or be documented, ICE don't care. And when you get deported, you're deported. People say, Mo, I was asked today, why don't you go outside and record all of this stuff? For what? To go to jail? To be detained by ICE? They may confuse me as being a undocumented, illegal. Or they can just arrest me for FUN. That's right, for fun. I like being free. I don't know about you. My freedom versus going to cover a story or stories where I'm not getting paid for the story. Forget about it. Even if I was being paid, it would not be worth my life. It would not be worth my freedom. I'm not a news reporter on CNN or ABC or CBS or WGN. I am a content creator here on YouTube. And by the way, YouTube, I'm going to send you all an email too. 6 weeks ago, you all told me that you all would be sending me a PIN number in the mail, not email, but in the mail. You all got my address and everything, information. We even tried the test thing, the test monies with the account, and everything checked out on both ends, my end and your end. But I have yet to receive my PIN number. I will also, in addition, text YouTube and leave them messages, leave you all messages in regards to my PIN number. What's the holdup? Well, one big YouTuber who's a Caucasian said that 75% of black YouTubers are being screwed by YouTube. That's not me. That's that big YouTuber. And you all know exactly who it is. And he's a Caucasian. He's not black. He's not Asian. He's Caucasian. So if that is untrue, YouTube, why am I seeing his video? Why isn't it taken down if what he said was not true? And he is getting paid for that video. So I'm just saying, could you please, YouTube, send me my PIN number so that I can type it in, input it, and we can have more going, okay? We can have more going, okay? But getting back to Chicago, Donald Trump is trying to cut funding for Chicago public schools who have the Student Success Plan, which is a plan that helps ensure a little bit more that black students get more education. Donald Trump said that he is going to stop some of that funding if they don't cut the program. Damn. You don't want black students to be successful, Donald Trump? You have already taken away their DEI. You have already taken away their history books or black history in schools. You already took away the black history in the Smithsonian. You have fired, I don't know how many Americans, black and white, have fired them or laid them off, got rid of them. You have become so terrible, Donald Trump, that you even fired the woman at the CDC, the director of the CDC. You even fired her. All of these school teachers are placing their jobs on the line for black excellence. Or whereas black students may be able to pass state tests, anything that would help them, anything that would help black people, you don't want. It is reported that they said, the people who's for Donald Trump who was working with Donald Trump, said that the textbook that they were reading for the Black Success Plan is racist. Damn, how can you say that when the education here in America, when you turn to the social studies or history books, is racist? So why don't you get rid of those books too, Donald Trump? Why don't you stop the whole system of education, the whole system? Not just leave it at the state level, just wipe it all out. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that, can you? And mark my words, when Mayor Brandon Johnson said that he's going to sue you, just like a lot of other people around the country is suing you, Donald Trump. And some of those cases won't be thrown out. In fact, about it, seeing that you have the federal judges in your pocket, the Supreme Court, they may let one or two slide by. But they not letting all of them slide by. But still, Donald Trump, you are guilty of racism. Yourself. So why don't you get rid of yourself? I'm just saying. Get into the meat of the conversation. Charlie Kirk. A lot of people are talking about Charlie Kirk, but they never talk about where Charlie Kirk is from. Charlie Kirk is from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Now, if you don't know where that's at, that's maybe 40 miles outside of Chicago. It's a suburb. They used to have the racetrack out there. In fact, about it, the Chicago Bears training camp is out there in Arlington Heights. That's right. Mm-hmm. And do you know that the U.S. Senate has made Charlie Kirk a hero? White America has made Charlie Kirk a hero because they gave him a national Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance. Yes, October 14th. That's what they say. October 14th. And why October 14th? Because Charlie Kirk's birthday is October the 14th. The same birthday as George Floyd. Both of them, same birthday. One shot and killed, and one suffocated to death. Both killed by white men. Just as the case with Martin Luther King Jr. and Charlie Kirk. Both men were shot and killed by a white man. Okay? 100. Charlie Kirk, I've never seen him speak in Chicago. Never. And all of that rhetoric that he brings, all of the hatefulness, all of the bigotry, all of the slander and the defaming of character that Charlie Kirk had spoke, he would never come to the hood and say that. Let Charlie Kirk go on Chicago Avenue in Pulaski and talk that crap. Let Charlie Kirk go on Fulton and Lamont and talk that crap. Why don't Charlie Kirk, or why wouldn't he, or didn't he, go over here on Jackson and Costner and talk that crazy stuff? Why didn't Charlie Clark take his bigotry message over there to California and Division, or Kedzie and Division? Charlie Kirk, there's a great possibility, would have been dead before the age of 31. 100. So he stayed secluded over there in Arlington Heights, where the majority of people are Caucasians, upper middle class. But he wouldn't come in the hood and say what he said. He would not have came in the hood and spoke about black women the way that he spoke about black women to a white forum. I would have dared Charlie Clark to do that. Charlie Kirk. I would have dared for him to do that. Him and his wife would have got their electricity cut off, and possibly their kids too. But he stayed where he was safe. He stayed where he was safe. Around all of those Caucasians who feel the same way that he do. The racists, the bigotors. Yeah. Hardcore racist. National holiday. So, will federal workers be paid October 14th? Is this like a Martin Luther King Day or something? Is this like a Martin Luther King Day or something for white people, since they gave us MLK birthday? Is it like that? I'm asking, because people are trying to compare Charlie Kirk with MLK. There is no comparison. There's no comparison. I may not have liked some of the things that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has spoke about, because I felt in a way that he was a bootlicker. But after he found out and woke up about what was happening, and he started asking for the check, goodbye, Martin. Goodbye, Martin. I don't remember or recall one time Charlie Kirk went to jail for the rights of white people. I've never seen that. What about you? Have you ever seen Charlie Kirk go to jail for freedom of speech, expressing himself the way that he did for white people? Did he ever go to jail? And then Charlie Kirk used the words or told Americans that MLK was a rapist. If Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a rapist, he would have been in jail as a rapist. Trust me, they would have locked him down. He may have fondled and cheated on his wife, but he wasn't a rapist. How dare you? But he got that from J. Edgar Hoover, who was a sugar booty. J. Edgar Hoover was a sugar booty. He liked weenies in his booty. Yeah. Y'all didn't know that? He liked weenies in his booty. Who's that? The Monkees. NK. Angie. I'm in LA. That's what's up. I'm in Chicago, the big windy city, the city of gangsters. Concrete jungle. Chirac, where it's nowhere safe outside. Nowhere safe. People take chances here in Chicago every single day just going to work. Or just coming outside to sit on their porch or to go to the corner store. Their lives are in danger because people have become savages. And they've let all the people out of the insane asylum. They're closing them. If you all think that it's bad now, you all just wait. I'm looking for something here. I got the air conditioner on in the background. I'm still going through this virus, So, excuse me, but I had to wipe my nose. Can't afford to have snot running out my nose if I'm talking to you, right? No one would like that scene, okay? Not even myself, okay? But getting back to good old Charlie, okay? Get back to good old Charlie, one of the good old boys. 31 years old, born in 1993. What did he know about life? Huh? What did he know about life except the life that his parents taught him? Huh? Except the life that he lived with all of those racist friends that he lived around. Huh? I guarantee you that Charlie Kirk's family, his mom and his dad, are racist too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100. But I do give Charlie Kirk credit for one thing. Just one thing. I don't give him credit for speaking his mind. Because obviously his mind is full of hate. Obviously his mind was full of bigotry. Obviously his mind was for white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Good old Charlie. But what I did respect about good old Charlie, farewell Charlie, is that he wanted the Epstein files open. Despite him being the right-wing conservative that he was, with all of the evil black things that he said about people, I don't forgive him about that. But I do respect him for wanting the Epstein files open on the very same person that he helped get elected. And all of a sudden, he's unalived. Good old Charlie is unalived. Do you think it was the Epstein papers? The Epstein files? And now, according to a whistleblower, it's all over social media. If you haven't seen the video, the YouTuber or the Instagram man, the Caucasian man, said that the Department of Justice is removing the names of all of the Republicans that's in the Epstein files and leaving the names of the Democrats. And then they'll open up the files. What kind of ill sugar honey iced tea is that? Okay? The man is running. Yeah, Donald Trump is running. Not running for office, but running from trying to be expelled from office. And with all of the hateful acts that he has committed against the American citizens, they'll be happy if they impeach him. Some would be happy if they did to him what they did to Charlie Kirk. That's just being 100. All of you out there who don't feel that way, you know you lying. Because Donald Trump has made hell in your life ever since he's came into office. And I don't care if you are a MAGA lover. He's even making those MAGA people mad right now. Let me ask you all something out there. Do you all think Donald Trump will get impeached? Or do you think that Donald Trump will get assassinated some type of way? Or, you know, his car not going to accidentally blow up. That's for sure. But what do you all think? Do you think Donald Trump will get impeached? Do you think he will get assassinated? Or do you think that he will finish out his term as being the evil president of the United States? What do you think? He got Caucasians mad at him. He got Africans mad at him. meaning black people here in America, or Native Americans. Yeah, because black people are the real Native Americans, 100. So Caucasians, Native Americans, Chinese, the South Koreans, they are most definitely mad at him, okay? Spanish people mad at him. Spanish people mad at him. The Hispanics that they call them, the people that were conquered that end up speaking Spanish. I'm just saying. Yeah, they mad at him. Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Guatemalans and Venezuelans. Woo-hoo! We got that smoke. Donald Trump is bringing a lot of Trump. Donald Trump has brought a lot of smoke. But the American citizens got smoke for Donald Trump. They got smoke for his administration. They got smoke for all of the evil and the wrongdoing that he's doing right now. I can't believe the people who look like me, are feeling sorry for this dude. Still standing up for this dude. Didn't a black man get beat up while he was at a MAGA fest? And he was a MAGA lover. And he still got beat up. Damn! Did Donald Trump bring him on stage? Did Donald Trump arrest the people that attacked that black MAGA lover? No. In my mind, by me knowing the frame mind of Donald Trump, killed the jigaboo. Yeah, Donald Trump would say kill the jigaboo. Now you can take it or you can leave it, but his actions and his policies has told you who he is. If you all don't understand that, you don't think too well. Or you're just one of those bigots like Donald Trump. Just like Charlie Kirk. But I'm going to end this note on Charlie Kirk and keep moving the story right along, okay? Charlie Kirk was not a good man. Because Charlie Kirk did not speak for humanity like Dr. King did. If Charlie Kirk had spoken for humanity versus racism and bigotry, Charlie Kirk would have been bigger than the president. But he didn't. He just spoke for right-wing conservative people and for the continuation of a racist white KKK system here in America. So my final words for you, Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to move on to your co-worker over here in a minute, okay? We got something for him. Charlie Kirk, you spoke freedom of speech. And you got killed for that. You got killed for your hatred. You got killed for your bigotry. You got shot and killed, got your electricity cut off. Because you also wanted those Epstein files public and open. Now ain't nobody did that, but same people that killed Jesus. You was hero enough though for white America that they gave you a National Memorial Day. You have influenced the minds of young white people to be just like you, which is a racist Christian, a racist Protestant, and I think he just flipped Catholic. But whatever you wanted to call yourself, you have encouraged the minds of the young people to be just like you. And that's why you are the way you are, which is DEAD. Okay? Now, members of the Pentagon, I'm going to kill you with this if you haven't read it already. Members of the Pentagon has said, high officials, those that's in Donald Trump administration too, what's the word I want to use? Recommended. Yeah, recommended. Yeah, recommended. Yeah. Recommended that Charlie Kirk be the face of the U.S. military. Did y'all just hear what I just said? Did y'all hear what I just said? They want Charlie Kirk to be the face of the U.S. military. That means that all of you folks that ain't white, that's not Caucasian, need to disband yourself from the military. Because if a racist, a bigoter, a hater of black women, black men, black children, and spew nothing but white power in the name of Jesus, be the face of the military, you all should get out of the military. Makes common sense, right? Let them go fight all of them wars by themselves. Let all of those white people who agree with Charlie Kirk and want him to be the face of the military, let them go fight for all the wars. Don't participate in no more if that is the case. Because Charlie Kirk showed no sewing, meaning bring together or togetherness for humanity. He wanted to segregate humanity. And if he becomes the face of the military just may become segregated again. What y'all think about that? I ain't seen nobody else out there. Are y'all the cops out there in the chat room? I'm sure it's an agent or two on there. I don't know who it is, but we out here and we're not speaking nothing but our frame of mind, our God-given right to speak. Not a constitutional right to speak, but a God-given right to speak. God gave every human being a mouth, and God gave every human being a tongue to speak. And Donald Trump is trying to take that away, which we will get to. Because now we're going to move right along, because I'm done with Charlie Kirk. I'm done with him. I said all that I had to say about him. Because he ain't said nothing good, but except the Epstein files, okay? That's all he said good. Now, his co-worker, and I call him co-worker because they're on the same side, meaning right-winged, white conservatism, white America. His co-worker, Nick Fuentes. Now, Nick Fuentes, another native of Illinois. In fact, Nick Fuentes is a native from Chicago. So you can see how him and Charlie Kirk hooked up. Chicago, one of the most segregated cities in America, is real. It's real. They say that the U.S. is a melting pot, but Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in America. Not to mention gangster. Murder capital. But needless to say, this Nick Fuentes dude, Chicago born and raised, just like Charlie Kirk. Now, Nick Fuentes is what, 27 years old? That means he was born like in 1997? 1997? What does he know about life already? What does he know about interacting? He too has some racist parents. They don't say what side of Chicago he was born on. But they say it's from Chicago, not a suburb, but they say he was born in the city of Chicago. And he's a racist. All of that rhetoric, all of that hateful speech, just like Charlie Kirk did speak, because he can't speak no more. His words has been muted permanently. But needless to say, right? Nick Fuentes, the great racist, the great right-winger who was actually jealous of Charlie Kirk, you know, I'm sorry about the mix-up. He was jealous of Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was getting too much action. But he didn't know how to control himself. You know, because he's just straight an idiot. Now, I'm going to show you a video by Nick Fuentes. Okay? I'm going to show you a video by Nick Fuentes. And you tell me if Nick Fuentes would have went on the west side of Chicago and said these things, okay? Y'all listening out there? We got to get this, geared up here. We got the volume up. We got to get this right so it can go straight to you, okay? We're getting it right.
Very bluntly, very honestly, I said, this is how I feel. This is how a lot of people feel. We don't want to be around black people anymore. We don't want to live near them. We don't want to associate with them. When we see them coming, we go the other way.
This is Buick.
Now, you see that there?
Buick.
You don't want to be around black people? Or none of that?
I've been saying this throughout the year.
He gonna go ahead. Check him out.
And what I've noticed is that increasingly people are agreeing with me. That chorus of woke people saying, that's racist, you can't say that. It's becoming quieter and fewer and less frequent. And the reason is because we see stuff like this. We're justified. Is there a better example than this of the axiom that around black people you cannot relax? That's all she did. How could she have avoided this situation? Literally, do not turn your back to a black man. That's how you could have avoided it. And by the way, any boomer dad, any boomer uncle would see their young daughter, young niece sit in front of a person like that with no self-awareness, and they would grimace, they would cringe. And if she got lucky and she got up that day and walked out of that train, they would be called a racist for that reaction. But today was not her lucky day. He was not one of the good ones. She paid with her life. It was not her lucky day when you survive an encounter with an erratic black man on public transit and you leave with scars or a homicide charge, a manslaughter charge, or maybe you just leave a little shaken up. No, today was the unlucky day when she encountered one of those ones. Today was the unlucky day when it cost her her life and she is now dead forever. and her loved ones are without their daughter, sister, niece, I don't know her family tree. How could it have been avoided if she was racist?
We're going to start right there. We're coming back to him, but we want to stop right there. This rhetoric that he is spewing right now, once again, Nick Fuentes would not take himself on Jackson and Laramie on the west side of Chicago and say that. Nick Fuentes would not go on Holman and Walnut and say what he just said. Nick Fuentes would not went over here on Kedzie and Madison and said anything like that. And for all of you right-wingers who got your little right-wing groups, that want to be racist and KKK, the move that y'all pulled in Ohio, I dare you to come to the west side of Chicago and pull that stunt. I dare you. I dare you. And despite the cops being there to protect you, somebody still gonna get hurt. Somebody still may die. Because you would have came and antagonized black people to their face. No, you a coward. Just like Charlie Kirk was, who only spoke where you think it's safe at. Charlie Kirk thought that he was safe in Utah. He wasn't safe in Utah. Seems to me he was safe every place else except Utah, which is one of the whitest states in the country. And he got knocked off the block. And the same thing is going to happen to Nick Fuentes if he keep doing that. If he keep doing that right there, he going to be next. Because while he is being a radical right-wing racist, he is also helped destroy what the mainstream right-wingers got going on. Hey man, you're doing a little bit too much. You're saying a little bit too much. We don't like these people either. But we have to stay in power. And you are going to help us get out of power, just like Donald Trump is doing. Now, he said that he don't want to be around black people, that white people are tired of being around black people. Go back to Europe. Isn't that what you Caucasians tell black people? Go back to Africa. Go back to Europe. Why don't you do that? Seeing that you're welcomed in Europe. Here it is, you have immigrants that has came from Europe that has taken over this country by force. But we, Nick Fuentes, are the bad people. You can't turn your back on black people, but white people, Caucasians, have come over here, have robbed, have stolen, have lynched, has raped, has killed, has cut off your balls. Yeah. Took my kids, my ancestors' kids, and you separated us. You beat us on trees. You chopped babies out of women's stomachs. Do you hear me? Tied us up on trees, shot us to death. But you say that you tired of being around black people? Man, go choke on the bone, would you? How dare you say that? Have you looked at your history? Have you looked at the evilness of white America and what they did to people who look like me, but yet and still you called yourself a Christian, just like Charlie Kirk? Aren't you a Christian? Nick Fuentes? Don't you say that you represent Christ? Nick Fuentes? The white Jesus you got on your wall? Huh? Whom white people kill. According to the story in the Bible, white people killed Jesus. Hey man, you too much, man. White people killed Jesus, okay? And he was your hero. In fact about it, according to the Bible, which Christians read, Protestants read, Catholics read, white people are the ones who killed all the prophets. Say that again, huh? White people's the one who killed all the prophets. Whew. But you can't turn your back on black people. It seems to me from a historical point of view, you shouldn't be able to turn your back on white people. And black people most definitely can't turn their back on white people. And if you're one of those black people out there that has gotten comfortable around white people, you need to reassess the situation. Reassess your thinking. Now, I'm not saying that all white people are bad. But in the words of Nick Fuentes, why roll the dice? Why roll the dice? You don't know what you're going to get. And in addition to what you're saying, Nick Fuentes, all of these people that driving, if you're black, more than likely, who's pulling up behind you in a police car with the lights on? A white dude, a Caucasian man, a slave catcher who wants to take you to jail, who possibly wants to beat you, who possibly wants to kill you and crucify you with his 9mm. Ain't that right, Nick Fuentes? But we should not be concerned about turning our backs on white people. Man, you are crazy. Listen to what he said. Check it out. Listen to what he further said. Check it out. The man is insane. You hear me?
We were led to believe that any level of prejudice, any level of pattern recognition is the highest evil. Not just evil, but the highest evil. Oh, you're racist? I can't even be in the same room with you. Oh, you did a double take? You're looking over your shoulder because a black man is behind you? That is systemic racism, a microaggression. That is internalized racism. How dare you think that? How dare you react that way? I don't even want to know you. I don't want to be your friend. It's worse apparently now than being a murderer, barely than being a rapist, a terrorist. And yet if she were a little bit more racist, she'd be alive. If she were a little bit more racist, her parents would have their daughter. If she saw that guy and turned and walked the other way, she'd be alive. If she said, I won't turn my back to him, I'll sit behind him, I'll sit facing him, she might be still alive. But what are we to do when the lesson over and over and over again is safest bet, don't be near them. Safest bet. And who wants to gamble with their life? Your safest bet is don't be in a situation where they will also be there. Next safest bet, if you see them, get away. It doesn't matter if they notice, it doesn't matter if it's offensive or insulting. If that's your safest bet, who can argue that we shouldn't behave this way? Who would argue that you should risk your life and get stabbed in the neck for no reason, like her or like Austin Metcalf, because you don't want to be insensitive, because you'd hate to be racist? How's that going to make the super predator feel? Or, unfortunately, how would that make an ordinary black person feel? I care about my life more. And I'm a single man. I can't imagine what it's like for a family. God forbid you're a man with your girlfriend. God forbid you're a man with your wife, with your young children. At that point, you have an obligation to get away. You're going to gamble the life of you, your spouse, and your children because you don't want to be insensitive. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to be considered.
Okay. Okay. I think that's enough of that character right there, okay? Just for now. He said if you would have sat in front of him or sat beside him, you know what he just said, right? The point is that he made don't trust white people, and that her family possibly would have still had her alive if she had not taken a chance with black people. On that train, talking about that girl from UK, Erna. Well, let me tell you something, Nick Fuentes. Since black people have encountered white people, we have suffered all violence that has never been seen before in history, and we still suffer it today. We've never seen the violence that evil Caucasian men has done to black people and other people who are not Caucasian. Actual fact, if you all would have stayed over in Europe, okay, versus encountering us, because we didn't come looking for you, okay, maybe some of my ancestors would not have been in slavery. Maybe they would not have been torn apart with fire and tar on them. Maybe they would not have been lynched. Maybe they would not have been raped or castrated if we would not have had contact with you. How about that? How about that, Nick Fuentes? You want to spew hatred so much. You want to spew bigotry so much that you too, the Christian man, it's not godly. You're not a Jesus Christ representative. You're a representative of Satan, the devil, Beelzebub. You, Nick Fuentes, and all of you who follow him, all of you who think like him, all of you Christians who honor and respect this man are just like this man. But you want to talk about not being around black people when you all are the #1 terrorist in America. I'm going to say that again. Just so that you did not hear me, in case you didn't hear me, the white man, the Caucasian man, who looks like Nick Fuentes and looks like Charlie Kirk, is the #1 terrorist in North America. And they ain't locked up. They still walking around terrorizing people with the help of the police. The fall of America is what you are witnessing. The fall of America is what you are witnessing right now. The mindset of the majority of white people in America here is what you're witnessing right now. Don't be fooled. Don't be no sucker. Don't take no wooden nickels. Don't let a white friendly smile be the cause of your death. Didn't you just see what happens to that boy in Mississippi? Trey Reed? Uh-huh. And speaking of Trey Reed, did you all know that what's his name? Copernic? You know, the football player that they boosted out of the NFL because he wouldn't bow a knee? He's paying for the second autopsy for the Trey Reed family. And speaking of sport figures, Alonzo Mourning is making housing affordable for those who can't afford it in Florida. Y'all remember Alonzo Mourning used to play for Miami Heat back in the day. Shouts out to them. Now see, if Charlie Kirk would have been doing something like that, maybe he wouldn't be dead. And Nick Fuentes, maybe if you, I don't even think God can change your heart, because the devil is you, okay? And God can even change the devil. I'm just saying. I don't know why God just didn't kill the devil in the Bible versus letting him cause all of this ruckus on the earth. Don't y'all agree? That's what we thought. The system and the people that Nick Fuentes worships, and that is because he don't worship Christ and he don't worship God. He worships Satan and those people that's in power in that White House and Pentagon. That's who he worships. And he's got you going to the slaughterhouse, young white men, young white women, even some of them old fools, the old white fools, and the, you know, yeah, man and female. You all better get you some black friends. You're going to listen to Nick Fuentes, and all y'all life is going to be cut short. Because America is going to end faster than you think if you don't get your sugar honey iced tea straight. The cause of America. And you, Nick Fuentes, would not be one of those people, billionaires, who have those secret bunkers. Okay? You will not be a part of that clique. You're going to die like everybody else in the rubble. Okay? The system has gotten so bad, we know that they canceled Jimmy Kimmel. ABC canceled. Disney owns ABC. But do you know that Disney is losing $3.5 billion a day since they fired or canceled Jimmy Kimmel? And right now, they are negotiating to bring him back. However, they wanted him to give Charlie Kirk's family an apology and donate money, meaning millions of dollars, to his Turning Point USA campaign, his not-for-profit organization that his wife is going to take over. Do you think Jimmy Kimmel should apologize to Charlie Kirk's family? Do you think that Jimmy Kimmel should donate monies to Turning Point USA? I'm just saying. Would you apologize? Why are they in negotiations? Jimmy Kimmel is not broke. He's not broke. So he could possibly retire off the money that he got in other investments. But he can still make money if he's brought back on. But I would not be apologizing. And I'm not donating a damn thing. Not unless, Charlie, y'all want me to donate, let me donate to humanity. Let me give something to this low income housing. Let me do something for the poor. But no, they want him to donate money to that family. To a bigot family. To a racist family. To a KKK family. Governor Pritzker says that Donald Trump may be suffering from dementia, while Mayor Brandon Johnson said that the police are sick and they don't help the safety of the community. Look at where you live at, black man and black woman. Now, that should be a wake-up call for you. If Dr. Martin Luther King said that, which was Brandon Johnson, whom he was quoting, he quoted Dr. King when he said that law enforcement are sick and they don't help provide safety for the community. If you are a black man in America and the police came into your hood, did they make it safe? Or did they put drugs on you? Did they put guns on you? Did they take you to jail? Did they harass you? Did they make you eagle spread down in the street with no clothes on, with your pants down? Did they handcuff you and shoot you on Madison Street like they did Lala? Did they handcuff you and drove a police paddy wagon and broke up all your bones in your neck and your body and left you paralyzed like they did Freddie Gray? Did they come into your home, storm your home, and shoot and kill you in front of your wife who was pregnant with your baby like they did Fred Hampton Jr.? Excuse me, Fred Hampton Sr. Nick Fuentes, man, you need to stop, man. Before you end up like Charlie Kirk. Not killed by black people. No. Black people will kill each other. A black man will kill a white man if a white man get in his face, head up one-on-one. Black man will kill you. You wouldn't stand a chance. You wouldn't stand a chance. Your hatred that you have for black people versus hatred that black people have for white people. Let me set up a ring match with Nick Fuentes and one of these angry young black men on the street that have hatred in his heart for white people. Like you have hate in your heart for black people, even though black people didn't never do anything to you. Black people only hate white people because of what white people has done to them. As in the words of one of the master teachers, this is the hate that hate produced. Shouts out to Malcolm X. I'm just saying. So you all can stop all of that. Not to mention the fact that Donald Trump is talking about no freedom of speech as long as you're talking too negative about him. Is the man gone crazy? This man is trying to tell you what you can and what you can't say. He ain't God. He didn't create you. He's the devil in human form. And you're going to listen to the devil? You're going to let the devil direct your steps after the fact that he continues to put his foot on your neck and burn you up every chance that he can get? Whew. Freedom of speech is only wrong when you're speaking too negative against him. Hell, even Senator Lummis, Lummis, agreed. So y'all look up Senator Lummis and you all will see who she is. And she said that freedom of speech should be limited. What? freedom of speech limited. What you all are witnessing is the fall of America. How many of you all even know who Senator Lummis is? Nobody even know her. One of those right-wing Christians. One of those right-wing Christians. Powerful. And you don't even know her. But she's a representative. Should she be a representative? She shouldn't even be entitled to that office to say such a thing. It's already bad enough that you all let a pedophile, a criminal with 34 felonies get into office as president. You have people on the street who has had a selling cocaine charge and they can't even get a job. But this dude got 34 felonies, even freaking on women, misconduct. And you gonna follow him? You're gonna follow a sexual predator. You're gonna follow a demon in human form. You're gonna follow a beast in human form, and you are not fighting back after he said that he is going to infringe upon your freedom of speech. Not to mention the fact that when he first came into office this term, the next day he signed a bill stating that government officials would not have the right to infringe upon the freedom of speech of the citizens. Did he not say that? Did he not make that an executive order? Is that not what he is doing? Y'all better stop being a lollipop out there. I'm just... Y'all think about that. We are living in a wicked world under a wicked people, under a wicked administration that has no love, has no compassion for humanity in America. I don't know about what's going on in other countries, and I don't care what's going on over there with other countries. We care about what's going on in this country right now. And right now, the U.S. government is trying to take all your human rights away. As a God-given representative from the universe, the devil, who is also from the universe, wants to take your God-given human rights from you, starting with the freedom of speech. What you are witnessing is the fall of America. You can take it or leave it. That's not even up for a debate with me. And from the evidence that this administration has shown you, you cannot intellectually argue with me. You would be stupid to do so. This is where we're at today, you all. And for all of you, once again, that's watching out there, I'll save that for the end, okay? What do you think? Do you think that the fall of America is near? Do you think that we are on the brink of a destruction of a country like Rome fell, which is the sister to America? You know, like Britain and all the rest of them European countries. Do you think America is on the brink of destruction? Do you think the American citizens are tired of Donald Trump? Do you think that the American citizens are tired of his administration? Do you think that the American system in which we are living under is a straight white supremacist system? Because some Americans say that America's not racist. I don't know what kind of eyes they got. Okay. I do not know what kind of eyes they have, but I know what I see, just like the other 300 million of Americans see. And it's getting bad out here. What would you do, or what are you going to do when you are silenced or reprimanded or muted, but not permanently? Meaning that you're not dead, but you are suffering consequences. You may lose your job, like these other people's did. You know, you may have a corrupt police that will take your life, like they did Charlie Kirk. But he wasn't a police, though. Police did not take his life. It was Tyler Robinson, okay? But the point is, what would you do when a person tells you that you don't have the right to say what's on your mind? What would you tell your boss? Would you be the one that keeps your mouth closed and keep licking boots? Or will you stand up like a man or a woman and tell your boss how you feel? In fact about it, how many of you all want to tell your boss how you feel but don't? So if you have a boss like that and you don't tell him or her exactly how you feel, that means your freedom of speech has already been compromised for a paycheck. Doing. Your freedom of speech is compromised for a paycheck. Hell, you tired of working anyway. And all of the years you've been working, what, 15, 20 years? You should have opened you up a business by this time anyway. Not unless you're, making over $500,000 or, just say over $100,000 or whatever. Whatever you feel your life is worth. Or not worth, Whatever you feel. But we're going to get out of here tonight. But we did want to leave you with those questions. What would you do? We got a few more. What would you do if you encounter a person, if you're black, like me, they call us black, they call us a crayon color, versus where we're from. Like normal people do in other countries. They call you by where you're from and not by, and like I said, I'm not black. Do I look black? This is black, okay? See that color right there? That's black. Do I look that color? I think I look brown. Miseducation of the Negro. And at this point, it's the miseducation of American citizens, dumbed down by the administration of none other than Donald Trump and himself. If you haven't been over to my other channel, MOPOWERZ, here on YOUTUBE, go over to that channel and view those audiobook series that we left for you. All of the hard work has been done. Only thing you have to do is sit down and just listen. Get you a refreshment, and listen to those audiobooks. We have Stolen Legacy, Black Man of the Nile and His Family, The Destruction of Black Civilization, The Fall of America, The Message to the Black Man in America, As a Man Thinketh, The Chronological Order from Alchemy to Wicca, The Demonology of King James, From Babylon to Timbuktu, The Miseducation of the Negro, The World's 16 Crucified Savior, and over 800 more videos that you can watch. Over. That means that you can watch MOPOWERZ for 3 years and never watch the same video twice for 3 years. Just like this channel, THEMOSHOW Chicago, you can watch videos for 4 years on this channel and not have to watch the same video twice. And while you're over there on MOPOWERZ, take a ride with us and travel with us sometime. Come travel with us to the Grand Canyon. Come travel with us to the Mopop Museum. Come travel with us to the Georgia Guidestones before they blew it up. Come travel with us to Bruce Lee gravesite. Come travel with us to Jimi Hendrix gravesite. Come travel with us to the Garden of the Gods. Come travel with us to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. Come travel with us to the Black Holocaust Museum in Milwaukee. Come travel with us to York, Maine, to Vermont, to New Hampshire, to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio, to the NFL Hall of Fame in Ohio, to the NBA Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Come hang out with us in Florida, down in Miami, at South Beach. Come hang out with us. We all over the place. All of the information is for you. And if you like to hike, come with us to the Red Rock Canyon in Arizona. We love hiking. Come with us to the Valley of Fire. Go over to that channel, MOPOWERZ, okay? And if you are into Chicago old school hip-hop, old school R&B, old school spoken word, old school comedy, old school independent movies, old school Chicago street clips, go over to my last channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space here, on YOUTUBE, and find the likes of Twista, yes, Twista, Shauna, Dion Cole, Diane Quarter, Aunt Dub, The Nomads, Mecca, Affiliated Fellas, Official Business, Mano, JR Valentino, Illa Flows, Black Hole Entertainment, and a whole lot of other people. Get yourself over there if you are into Chicago old school anything. THEMOSHOW Classics, are one word, no space here, on YOUTUBE. And on your way out the door, because we're going to close this live, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. And also press those condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come to contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. That's right, you all. Thanks for viewing. Never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. Never. That's my time.